welcome back to my channel. So first I want to say if you're enjoying my videos, please don't forget to subscribe and click that little bell icon to get notified when I post. But alright, today I thought I would talk about a question that I get a lot on my Instagram, and that is what specialty I am interested in practicing in. So to clarify, I have not started PA school yet. I start in August, so obviously I haven't done either didactic or the clinical years, so I don't have that kind of experience yet. So everything I'm telling you now is kind of what I've kind of sat down and thought about, and thought what would be best for my personality and my goals in my life. But obviously I know people change their minds all the time when they finally get into school and are in rotations and actually get to see what that specialty gets to do. So this all may change, but as of now, this is what I want to do. And I also don't see the first part of my plans changing. I feel like that will be set in stone, but then afterwards I'm sure that those plans will completely change later on as I get to that point in my life. So I want to preface this video by answering a question I also get a lot, and that is what specialties can PAs practice in? And so the answer is basically every single specialty you can ever imagine. Psychiatry, pediatrics, oncology, neurology, surgery, emergency medicine, any of those specialties that you can think of, there's most likely a PA within that field. So there's definitely no limit as to a PA and what they can practice. So that's one reason why I went to this field, is that I saw how many PAs there were in all of these different specialties. So I know that when I was going to become a PA that I'd have these types of options too. However, the PA profession was created to help with the primary care provider shortage. So essentially that's what I want to do in the beginning. So I've been told over and over that it's a really great idea to do family medicine or do primary care for the first couple years to get your grounding and get a general foundation of medicine before you go off and specialize. As a family medicine scribe, I really saw how important primary care is and how it's not just simple things. You have to know a wide range of diseases and whatnot. So I think even if you ultimately do want to specialize, working as a primary care provider for a few years would help you so much with your confidence and your clinical skills. So I think that's something that I definitely want to take advantage of and do in my career. I am trying to apply to some scholarships where you will work for them for a few years in primary care and they'll help you pay back your loans. But obviously I have to see if I get those. But that's ultimately what I want to do anyways. I want to work in primary care for a few years, hopefully in a more rural area. So my middle goal, I say middle goal because obviously my first couple years I want to do primary care, and then I have a middle goal, and that's I want to be a travel PA. And then after I'm done with travel PA, it gets tiring to move all the time, I would specialize or go back into primary care. So I'm young, I'm 23, by the time I'll graduate I think I'll be 26, so still young. I don't have a husband, I don't have kids, and I love traveling, so I figured why not combine my two passions, and while I'm still young and a little bit free, work as a travel PA and be able to combine them. So ideally I would like to live in different rural parts of the United States to practice medicine. I've seen that most of the positions open for those are more family medicine, emergency medicine, kind of your primary general type of things, rather than a job that is super specialized. So that's where those couple years of primary care comes in, not just for, the knowledge and being able to be more comfortable with treating people when I'm traveling, but also for job applications they'll be more competitive if I have a couple years experience of that already. So one of the main reasons why I want to go into rural medicine is because there are locations out there that may not have that many providers and therefore not enough people get to be seen that day. So essentially my role as a PA in those underserved areas will just be expanding healthcare and allowing that clinic to see more patients, and therefore more people get medical care that they need. I know that not a lot of people like to live in rural areas. A lot of people tend to gather towards cities and whatnot, hence the population. But I'm not afraid to be in a more rural area and have more open land versus people. That's something I would love to do anyways. I'd love to live in a more rural area in Oregon and help give people, care when they may have had to wait months to get the care is something that I think would just make my life whole. It's a cause that I really care about, and it's something that will really help the people of those rural areas, so I'm hoping I can combine my passions with being able to provide more care to people. Plus, when else will I have the chance to live across the entire United States for little chunks of a time and experience different cultures and different people and be able to practice medicine while doing it? To me, that is the absolute coolest thing you can ever think of. So in regards to travel PA, I haven't looked super in depth in it, but there are companies that kind of lay out the type of requirements that you would have to do and the type of assignments that you could possibly get. So most assignments you get are when people are on leave or on pregnancy, leave, they're on vacation. Sometimes they hire a PA when they're waiting to hire a physician. Sometimes there's strikes at hospitals and they need people to come work, so they'll hire you for that. So there's a lot of random things where they just need somebody to come in and fill in for maybe a few days, maybe a few weeks, maybe a few months. Also, some companies I've seen online allow you to kind of pick where you want to go and how long you want to go. So if you want to stay more on the West Coast, you can stay within those states. And say you want to be in a couple states for a longer period of time, you can search for assignments that are for longer periods of time. So So you definitely have a lot of flexibility as to where you go and how long you go. Another really great thing about that is, sure, you can pick when you want to work and where you want to work, but you can also pick when you do not want to work. So say you have this big trip that you want to do, or you have something really important coming up, you can tell them, hey, please don't assign me another like rotation or site for a couple months or a couple weeks or whatever it may be. So to me, I think that's awesome. I would love to be able to do that, maybe save up, money and then book like an overseas trip where it's a couple weeks versus, having to squeeze in my paid time off and all of that like within a normal job. So for someone who really loves traveling and wants to find that like work-life balance everybody talks about, this is like ideal for me. Obviously it depends like who you contract with as a travel PA, but I know I would want to do my research and make sure I can find companies that will support me and to kind of meet my goals. One of the reasons why I chose the PA profession is for the flexibility, and everybody knows lateral mobility is amazing, but the idea of being a travel PA and having that kind of flexibility too really intrigued me. I'd always thought about this, but it never really set in my mind that this is something I can actually do until I met a travel nurse when I was an intern at the hospital, and she explained everything to me and it sounded absolutely perfect. And not to mention, she was the coolest human being I've ever met. She was the RN that I worked with when I bagged my first dead body, and she walked me through it and made me feel so much more comfortable with the whole, process of death and being able to, say goodbye and help, a grieving family out. So she just really inspired me in many ways. But she was one person that made me realize that travel PA is something that I can legitimately do in my life. So I don't think I can realistically be a travel PA for that long. Obviously it takes a lot out of you to be able to travel, and then you're not connected with your family, you're always away from your friends and all of that. So I know it will take a mental toll after a while, but that is something I want to do just for a bit of my life. So like I mentioned before, after I do travel PA for a bit, I'll probably either specialize or go back to primary care. This is when probably my rotation experiences will come in, and if say I really liked dermatology or something, I'll probably try to go into one of those specialties. I would still really like to stay in a rural area, so it probably won't be as crazy for the specialties, and PAs may not be in those kind of fields in rural areas. I'm not picky. I don't have my heart set on something. I'm not like a die-hard need to be a derm PA, die-hard need to be, a neurology PA, so I'm pretty open-minded with this. That's definitely how I want to go into my rotations. I don't want to go in closed-minded. I don't want to go into my OB-GYN rotation thinking I'm going to hate it. Like, I want to take everyone as like a new experience and just see if that's something I would really like to do. So I know there's flexibility within other careers, but to me the PA profession just really screamed like you'll be able to have an incredible medical career, but also be able to accomplish your life goals outside of medicine. I love medicine, and I've spent the last 5 years getting ready to apply to PA school, but I don't want that to be the only thing I do in my life. I absolutely love the connections I make with my patients, and they have made my life so much better and have made me found so much purpose in my life. But also traveling and hiking in Oregon while it's snowing, those types of things are very fulfilling to me, and I don't want to have to sacrifice those for my career. So to me, that is what is so beautiful about the idea of being a PA and the idea of being a travel PA. I just feel like I'll be able to combine what I love to do and get paid and help people while doing it, and I can't imagine a better way I can go about living my life, while I'm young and have this flexibility to do so. So yep, that is my plan as of now, is to work in primary care for a few years, hopefully maybe get some type of scholarship or loan repayment with that, and then transition to a travel PA for a little bit, travel the United States, get to see how people in Kansas live, Wyoming, Oregon, get to see all of those really cool things and how each different clinic practices medicine. I think that'll be such a great perspective, is to see how different people in different states and how laws affect that, and how legislation affects how a PA practices versus an NP. So I'm really excited for that portion, and I hope that one day I end up getting to do that. And then after I have my fun jaunt traveling around the United States, I'll probably, specialize or settle down in primary care and start my family and my life, that portion of my life. But like I said, this can all completely change. I think the only things that I know for sure is that I would love to be in a rural area, and I want to help underserved populations. In terms of specialties and where that's going to be, who knows? But like I said, definitely flexible with it all, and there are definitely a lot of positions within those populations and in those areas, so I'm not too worried about that part of it coming true. But alright, that is basically what I want to do as a PA when I graduate in a couple years. If you are interested in a specialty, I would love to know why and what you're interested in, so please leave a comment below to let me know. I love when people are super passionate about what specialty they want to go in. It's so interesting to me because I've never really been that type of person. I wasn't a diehard super big, specific fan of something. I've just loved general anatomy and physiology and the body in general. But I love to hear when people are super specific and no, I'm going to be a cardiology PA because I love this, this, and this. To me, it's so fascinating, and it inspires me to want to find specific things in medicine that I love. So please comment below if there's something that you are super passionate about in medicine. But alright, if you have any questions about like me wanting to be a travel PA or anything about PA school or pre-PA stuff, you can always message me on my Instagram at whitecoatchasing. Like I said earlier, please don't forget to subscribe if you're enjoying my videos. It would mean the world to me. But anyways, I hope you have a great day. Goodbye.